Hello there, I'm Nathan Ash from Apollo High School in Owensboro, Kentucky. Here we have a pneumatics kit, and we're going to go through all of them and name them, and we're going to start with the reservoir here. And this is going to hold our air. It's going to be our tank. Then we're going to move on to the tubing. Then we have a safety valve here. Then we have the shut-off valve. Then we have the T-fitting. And we have valve fittings. These valve fittings are going to go to the actuator. And these valve fittings up here are going to go to the solenoid. The actuator here, ours is a double action actuator, meaning why it's not a single action actuator. It's because a single actuator will only go up and it will not retrieve itself unless a outside force or gravity pulls it back in. But ours is a double, so it's going to go in, out, then back in. Then we're going to move on to the solenoid here, and this is going to be a sensor for things. Then we have the solenoid driver cable, which is going to be plugged up to our solenoid to the cortex from here. And that's it. My helper. And this is here. What we're going to do here is going to test everything, make sure everything fits, and go through all the safety steps on this. And we're going to start with our reservoir. And we're going to step. All to do to put this tubing in is just push it down. Should be good. And to let it out, you push down the orange and you pull out. Just like that. Alright, we're going to go straight to our safety cutoff switch. Plug it up to the golden one. Just push it right in. Okay, here we're going to test it. Go ahead and plug that up. And right now, our circuit is closed from here. And this right here is going to open and close it. So if we plug it in, the outer, more we go, not on twisting at all. The outer we go is the more closed it is, and when we turn it in, it's going to open our circuit. Maybe. Like that. Then to close it, you go outward, which would be counterclockwise. From here, we're going to go to our cutoff switch here. Tubing. Straight into there. And here you want to look up the arrows. And you want to go with the arrow with flow direction. So this side's going to go right into here. And here, we can test if we come to here and we open it. Then from right here, it should let air out. You can go ahead and put air in there. From here, we're going to go with another tubing. We're going to go to a T-fitting. And we're going to go from the bottom one. And for this, we're going to only do one side, and then we're going to go this way. Another tubing, we're going to go to our solenoid. And with our solenoid here, we have these things, and we want to go on the middle one right here. We'll go. There we go. Go to our middle one. This is our input one here. We're going to plug it in right there. And on the other side we have A and B, and we're going to put 2 in there, if it would go. Okay, from here this is going to go to our double action actuator, and you just plug tubing into here. And from here, it does not matter where it goes to the actuator, because as long as the other side is matching it too, so you don't have one up and one down when you begin. And this can swivel to your liking, and the gold one goes on top, or bronze. And here it does not matter. You can plug it right through here. And here we got it. Our circuit is closed. Right there. There we go. If you want to go ahead and add air, go. And while he's doing that, our solenoid driver cable is going to come into here with the pin on top. Slide it in there and close it. And this is going to go to the cortex.
Alright, so this is Mr. Lair from Apollo High School. We're going to talk about the code for pneumatics. What we need to do first of all to get our code set up is you'd have to go to your motors and sensors, and we just named ours solenoid 1 and solenoid 2. But the sensor type that you're going to have to choose out of this drop down is the digital out. And the reason for the out is because we want our cortex to talk to the solenoid in order to tell it how to move our actuator, whether out or in. And in our particular setup, we actually have 2 actuators with 2 solenoids. So that's why we have 2. We kind of added one on afterwards. And we're going to use a bump switch in order to switch the state of each actuator. So let's go ahead, and once we get past those pragma lines, take a look at the main. And we're going to go ahead and put in a global variable of the type integer so that we can track what state our actuators are in. And in the main, the first thing we're going to do is start that off as 0. And then we're going to have our if statement so that if I push the bump switch, then we're going to check to see which state we're in, and based on whichever state we're in, switch it. So if we're in state 0, that means that we're going to tell each of the solenoids a value of 1, which will either tell them to retract or push out the actuator based on how the hoses are connected. And then we're going to change the value of our variable that was 0 to now be 1. And of course, all of you that have worked with Robot C know that if you don't have some sort of wait after you try to change the value of a variable, that you can have kind of back and forth action go on when you're not expecting it. So we put a 1 second wait in here. It's probably a little excessive, but we were just testing it out. Now, if the state is not in 0, we're going to come down here to the else situation, which means that it's already a state of 1, and we're going to change the solenoids to be the opposite value, which is now 0, which of course will again do the opposite of whatever it was, either put it out or put it in. Just depends on the hoses and how they're connected. And then we're going to change the value of our state variable to go back to 0, and again with the wait. All of this is being put inside of a while true loop so that this code continually runs. And that's it.
Here we got a pressurized system here of pneumatics, and we're going to show you the double action actuator, and I'm going to go ahead and open it, and it should. Alright, hit the button, and there we go. In our system, in our coding, we have it going out, and when we hit the button again, it's going to retrieve itself. One more time, like that. Alright, thank you. Does that go? I'm Nathan Ash. I'm from Apollo High School, Team Bobo. And we have the new... Hello there, I'm Nathan Ash from Apollo High School, Team Bobo. Here we got pneumatic skid. Ash, I'm from Apollo High School. This is the Bobo team. We have pneumatic skid here. Starting off with the reservoir over here. Moving on to the driver. Alright, I'm Nathan Ash from Apollo High School. Here we got pneumatic skid, starting off with the reservoir here. Then we're moving on to the driver cable, solenoid driver cable, which then we have to. Hello there, I'm Nathan Ash from Apollo High School, Team Bobo here. We have a pneumatic skid here. We're going to start with the reservoir here. Then we're going to go along the solenoid cable, driver cable. Then we got the solenoid. Then we got the shut off switch here, valve. Then you got the pistons where... Hello there, I'm Nathan Ash from Apollo High School, Team Bobo. And here we got a pneumatics...